Welcome to EV Chat. I'm Kieran, an EV enthusiast and software engineer, and I have Victor here. I just got back from Everything Electric on the weekend, a little bit tired. It was a big event, had a lot of fun. One of the things that I was really excited about was that I got to test drive some cars, and I think a lot of people that went to the event also were excited about test driving cars as well. They expected, I think, 6,000 people over the 3 days to test drive cars. And it was a lot more convenient this year compared to previous years. There was a lot more manufacturers, a lot more cars to test, and they were a lot more organized as well. Although some of them were using paper for booking, which was a bit silly. But anyway, I'll get straight to the stuff that you're here for. I tested a bunch of cars that I hadn't tested before. Renault has the Megane, new Megane, which has only just been released. That was the first one I tested because I was like, oh, let's check this one out. What's it like? I wasn't very impressed with this car. It's very similar to a petrol car in some ways. It's got a very busy dash. But something that was really kind of weird was that it had like a screen in front of you. Like, you know how in some of the cars you've got the screen in front, which shows you your speed, and then you've got this screen on the left, which is more like infotainment and your audio and stuff. The screen in front of the driver was huge, and then the screen for the infotainment was tiny, which was a bit weird. They really should have been switched. They'd also had a screen for the rearview mirror, but I found myself getting weirded out about that because it was, you focus on the screen rather than like the distance. So that was definitely weird as well. So the Megane is $65,000 before on road costs, or $64,990. Same price as the Tesla. I wasn't particularly impressed by it, and I didn't really get a lot of time with it. But yeah, kind of expensive for what it is. But yeah, I don't know. If you want something different, you want a normal looking car, I guess, with some weird tech in it, that could be for you. So the next one I tested was the Audi Q8, which is it's a large SUV. It's Audi, it's e-tron, and it's a bit higher priced. So there's different spec levels, but this one starts at $154,600 before on road. It is a really cool car though. So one of the things that I noted on it, there's a few new cars that are coming out that have cameras instead of rear vision mirrors. And so the cameras look back where their vision mirrors are. They've got this little stalk thing that are there. And then they have screens inside the car which you can see and look at where the mirrors would be. It's kind of cool. The first one I saw it with was the EV9, but the screens were a bit crap. I didn't really like it, and it kind of annoyed and frustrated me. But the Q8, the screens were just integrated into the door, and they looked really good and really clear. And I got used to it, and I was like, oh, this is actually quite good. So I really liked it. The one thing that the person that I was driving with said about it was that at nighttime, they're actually much better than ice. It did have a lot of stalks, buttons, stuff, like it was a super busy console, which, yeah, I don't know. The problem is I've kind of gotten used to Teslas with having a very minimalistic style and having very little stuff, visual noise getting in the way. So it is kind of overwhelming when you get into a car that has so many buttons and settings and different things. The driver with me was talking about some of the different settings you can turn on and off, like say traction control or this, and it was just this big suite of buttons, and he was pressing all the different ones and different combinations. I was just like, wow, like that, and that was confusing. I think the annoying thing was that anytime any of those settings were changed, it changed my regen back to the default regen settings. I had to like reset my regen every time. So yeah, there's lots of real frustrating little tiny things that are just like, oh yeah, this is how like traditional car makers do stuff rather than what I'm used to, where you set a setting and then it's like, oh yeah, that's the setting you want to keep and you can change that, but other stuff doesn't just override settings.
That one was, I'm guessing, as an Audi would have been pricey.
Yeah, so the $154,600 for that one.
Even for an Audi, it's expensive. That is up there with the pricey ones.
They did also have a Q4 there, which is their new car that they just released at Everything Electric. They had one on the floor, but they weren't test driving that one as it was new, so they weren't doing that yet.
Is that a bit more affordable, or is it the same?
I don't have the details on me at the moment, but it's. I think it is. I think it's. They're hoping to have a more affordable one.
All right.
For sure. So the next one that I tested was actually quite good. It was a really good experience. I went to the BYD Seal and I rocked up and they said, "Oh, do you want to go do you test drive?" And I said, "Yep." And then the other two test drives that I did, when I went in the car, they had somebody there with me, sort of sitting in the passenger seat. And as I was driving, they were like, I know, telling me where to go and which direction and all that kind of stuff. With the BYD Seal, they said, "Yep, go for it." They just let me get in the car, do my own thing, go on a cruise, go wherever I wanted, and then come back, which was really great, really good. Wow. To just let me just do whatever. So,
well, I'm guessing it's just a production car. You know, it's you can just go literally. You could have literally driven off to buy one if you wanted, which is not something you can do with the Megane or with the Audi.
Yeah, and so I think the thing is with the Seal was that I was super impressed with it. So it was a really awesome car. I've been in the BYD Atto 3 before, which again is the like one of the more highest selling cars in Australia in December of last year. So it's a very popular car here. At the Seal, I really like the look of it. At both in the day and the night, it's got great sleek exterior. But the thing that was great for me this time is that I didn't really like the Atto 3's interior styling. It's got this weird like piano string thing in the door. The speaker boxes are like have this weird sort of thing, and it was really great to see the interior of the Seal. So the interior of the Seal is just so much better and more like a normal car. It's just simple, sleek. The speakers were nice. The doors were just like normal doors with cup holders, and it was great. The Seal itself, this was the performance one that I tried, and it was very fast, especially without a co-pilot there. Kind of feeling weird that I'm flooring it, so I could give it a proper test.
So you did floor it?
Yeah, so I floored it because I was at Sydney Olympic Park, so there was actually not a lot of traffic, and there was some good opportunities to really give a good go. Super impressed, super fast, and I really liked it. The only thing that's letting it down is the software. I think the software on the UI, this is the same with the Atto 3, it's just not that polished and great. I've gotten really used to some of the things in the Tesla on the infotainment, like just how sleek it is and how it works, etc. There's lots of menus to navigate. It's kind of clunky. When I got in the car, the radio was on and I had to figure out how to change it or turn it off or do something else. It was really annoying. But I think that's similar complaints. The good thing is that hopefully with their over-the-air updates that they will fix that in the future. If you're looking at a Tesla Model 3 and you're looking at a BYD Seal, the BYD Seal is quite an impressive car because it's cheaper than the Model 3 and it looks different and nice. So I think a lot of people are going to be attracted to that car.
What did you say last time? $15,000 cheaper. That is a really good offer. That is really
$15,000 really cheaper. And if you're okay with the software and you kind of prefer Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and you're not as picky about software stuff like I am, because that's my job, then yeah, maybe that's for you.
You would rather have the software of the Tesla than off-the-shelf software that has more connectivity?
I think it's not just that. What carries the Seal is the fact that it has Android Auto. The stock stuff that's in there is really frustrating, like having to change the settings. It also doesn't have one pedal driving as well, which is something that I really love in my Tesla.
I thought that was a standard with most electric cars. I thought that was just
it's not. Surprisingly, a lot of the cars don't have one pedal driving. A lot of them don't. And I think it's a transition from petrol cars, is that it seems to be, we don't want to make this thing too scary or too different. We want to have it to be like close enough to what petrol cars are like, so people don't kind of go, oh, what's this weird thing? So I don't know. I don't get it. Well, you can't even turn it on. It doesn't exist as a setting, I think, in a lot of the cars. You can. So for the cars that I know that have it, like the MG4, you can turn it on, but you have to turn it on every single time you get in the car, which sucks. Out of all of them, though, the Audi Q8 had the best driving. It seemed to like be great at sort of cruising along at a nice pace, and it did seem like I had a lot of control, which I do like about one pedal. The Megane was just kind of whatever. I didn't really notice anything. Depending on the type of electric motor used, different types can actually be more efficient. So if you're just coasting, where you are like in a car and you just let go of the accelerator, but it's still going at the same speed, you can do the same thing in certain types of electric cars where the motor, like the electric motor is a certain type, but when it has a permanent magnets and has an electric field that it has to continually keep going, it's actually more efficient to do one pedal driving. So it depends on the type of electric motor used. I want one pedal driving because I just enjoy it so much. Just that extra control.
I just took my car to Victor Harbor, which for everyone that have no idea what I'm talking about, the last maybe 20 minutes of the drive, there's lots of like curbs and turns and things like that. And one pedal driving is fantastic for that because you don't need to brake and decelerate. And the grip and it's just a joy to drive. It is something very, very different. The way that I describe the Tesla to most people is the first time that you have really good steak, and you've always had steak, but you've never had really good steak, and then all of a sudden you realize like, so this is how it should taste. I've been doing it wrong, and one pedal driving is a big one for that one.
So the other one that I tested was the Ionic 5 from Hyundai, which is the N line. So the N line is their Ionic 5, and they've just put every single thing in it. So they've grabbed all of their top of the line features, the best motor, the best battery, all of that. It also has a boost button, which makes it go super fast for a short period of time. And got to test drive that, and it is super fast. I don't have the numbers on the exact 0 to 100 time, but yeah, I was thrown back in the seat when we drove that. Wow. It has really nice interior styling and stuff. Like there's a lot of bells and whistles around the like just kind of nice little touches, and it has this sort of red accents everywhere. Really nice looking car. But yeah, it is quite expensive though. It's I think $114,000 for the N line, which is considering the base price of the Ionic 5 is kind of pretty crazy. But yeah, it was an amazing car.
And it's a Hyundai as well. And it's a Hyundai as well. It'd be interesting to see if people are ready to pay that for a Hyundai at the end.
Yeah, I think though there's going to be some people out there like that are gonna. But it's probably going to be a low volume product. But it's more. I don't know if they call it a halo product. It's just something that they can demo and say, look how awesome this is. Look how great and amazing this is. Some people are going to want it because yeah, it's different. It's fast. It looks kind of cool. And I think it is going to appeal to some more like car people that have been converted over to electric and want something a little bit fancier, but not.
Well, fancy Hyundai. That is my main problem. So, but I understand what you're saying. It's most certainly a Halo product, which I am literally writing a video in my other channel about the Halo effect. Like literally, I was doing that today. A Halo product is a product that you put out in the market that is really good at something, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't sell. People will associate that halo of goodness on that product to the rest of your brand, and that's why they do it. So if they have like maybe this super fast booster button, maybe they are trying to communicate that, well, look, we have the fastest cars or something. It would make sense.
Exactly. And I think that it says a lot, and I was really impressed by it. And I do think Hyundai is doing some great things with trying to like make themselves a premium brand, and it's definitely this is a great step in that.
No, they have never been a premium brand. They've always been a great value brand, one of the best values in the market. They make really affordable, good cars. They are, and they were really famous for making affordable, good cars like no one. Like no one would make affordable cars that were as good as Hyundai, and I wouldn't like them to be expensive for no reason.
Well, I think it's interesting, like in the like now they've really focused on their design language and how sort of sleek and futuristic looking a lot of their cars look. You can see that with pretty much their entire range. They all stand out. They look different, and I notice a lot of them now. But they really are focusing on that, and I think that's part of them wanting to be more of a premium brand now. And And I guess electric is a way for them to go, oh yeah, okay, well it costs more, so let's make it nice and let's make our brand more premium than before, because people may not have
Still
not
really
have
good
had those
cars, though.
perceptions.
Yeah, but the i30, which is a really good looking car, by the way, looks very European. It starts at 24,000 and it goes to 54,000. It
Mm-hmm.
is still a really affordable car. Like it is still an under $25,000 car.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it looks great. So for me,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it
quite
does.
good value
It
for money
absolutely
because
does. Yes.
it looks good. It looks kind of futuristic, or yeah, as you said, European, but it's not.
Yes.
So yeah.
No, it is. It is not, but it looks European. That's what I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
If
Well,
I confused you with
another
that.
interesting thing I want to talk about is the Genesis. Genesis is a car brand that is like the premium brand of Hyundai. So
There you go.
Genesis, I test drove the G70, which was you get in the car and the seats are super nice and cushy and like all leather. Like I don't know if it was actual leather, but it felt leather, like leather interior with the fancy kind of more like tan colors and everything sort of plush. So I felt like I was getting into an expensive car. And it was very comfortable. It had really nice smooth suspension, and it was really like a car that you would drive somebody around in. Yeah, it looked nice. It also had a matte exterior as well, so it looked kind of, it had this really interesting color too. But yeah, overall, kind of a boring car, and I think I wasn't really that impressed. I had a really good time at Everything Electric. It was really good. There was a lot of booths there, a lot of things that I saw. It was really awesome to test drive those cars. What did you think, Victor? Was there any cars that you would love to test or you were excited about?
I am more and more interested a bit about the BYD Seal, to be honest. Although they're not being able to drive with a single pedal, that's a deal breaker for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the car sounds really, really, really interesting. I would like to give it a test drive at some point. I
would recommend it. Yeah, do give it a test drive. I think there are dealerships like all over the place in Australia, so you can do that here. So yeah, I'd recommend it. Love to hear your thoughts on it if you do give it a test drive. Well, yeah, I'd love to hear if you test drove any other cars at that Everything Electric, or you were at the show and you thought there was anything exciting that you saw, or any of the talks. There is also a talk video on my channel if you want to see what one of those is like. I'd recommend checking that out. But yeah, if you want to like and subscribe to keep up to date with our awesome content, thanks for chatting.
Thank you very much.